Hello, fans. I'm the PC Expert Amateur, and we're going to take a look at the 120 millimeter Cosmiq Unifan from Asiahorse. Kind of psychedelic there. And this is what it looks like. It should look familiar to you because, well, it's not really any different than many other fans. There are some differences, but we'll get to that. And for plugging in this is, by the way, interlocking ones, right? And this is the cable that you use that handles both PWM and standard ARGB. You also get fan bolts and radiator bolts, and even a little manual for those people who are not familiar with how to use these things. Now, I have a confession to make. When I first tested this to make sure it worked, it did not work. I think the fault was my own, but I did try quite hard to make sure that I was connecting it correctly. This uses a different kind of connector than I've seen with other interlocking fans. So we have the pins facing that way instead of sticking out like on other brands. So you want to match this, I guess you could call it, I don't know, match those three things with the holes here. Being careful not to catch the pins as you're doing that. Push down on it so that it's firmly against it, and then you're going to want to push it all the way. And to help you make sure that you've done it correctly, there is actually, I don't know if you can see them or not, but there are lock and unlock things right there, carved into, or not carved into, but embedded in the frame side there. So you want to make sure that you push it all the way until the little line here on the fan matches or is pointing at the lock symbol here. If you don't do that, if you get it most of the way but not all the way, it's not going to work, as I found out to my chagrin. And, I did try multiple times. It requires a great deal of pressure. Don't be shy. Now, I'm sure you are interested to see the lighting. So we'll oblige that first. I'll turn this one. The nice colors, right? And it does have the infinity mirrors there, there, and there, with the name written on the sides. And since I haven't shown you that, that's for connecting the next fan. And that's what it looks like with the fan's blades in motion. That's not bad. Looks nice enough, just like lots of other fans. So let's go ahead and listen. I did forget to mention that this is actually the reverse version. So the air blows out of this side instead of this side. But it still turns in a clockwise direction.
All right, I've got it running at the minimum I can get it to go. There's a medium tone hum from it. There's a harmonic resonance already. And again. And again. And another. All right.
So that was it's a bit on the loud side. I'm a little bit surprised. I think most of the time you won't notice it in the case. As far as static pressure is concerned, I'm going to give it about a 1.5 millimeters of static pressure. So that means it's good for cases and air coolers, air coolers, but not for radiators. And let's go ahead and look at the specs. The Asiahorse Cosmiq-RE 120 millimeter Unifan has an $18 price tag, which, I don't know, to me that seems to be a little bit much. What do you think? It's compliant with CE, made in China, 120 by 25 millimeters, 1 year warranty, ARGB, although I don't know how many LEDs, and I don't know what it's compatible with, but clearly, since it worked on my computer, it is compatible with Asus. 190 grams, 7 blades, 105 millimeters between the mounting holes, 800 to 2,000 RPMs plus or minus 10%. And the airflow is 68.5. The static pressure is supposed to be 2.05. So I'm going to say that that is probably a little bit off there. 29.2 decibels maximum, and 50 centimeter fan cable that is daisy chainable and sleeved, 50 centimeter ARGB cable that is daisy chainable and sleeved, PWM and standard ARGB connectors, fluid dynamic bearings, 12 volts, 1.2 watts, 0.16 amps, and surprisingly, they gave us the information for their LEDs as well, 5 volts, 4.32 watts, and 0.864 amps. No indicators of direction of rotation and flow, but it turns in a clockwise direction and comes with 4 fan bolts, radiator bolts, and then if you get a 3-pack, it comes with a 3-button controller that includes for mode, speed, and constant light. That's all about the lighting. But that again, that's with the 3-pack.